So today we're going to be talking about solving systems of equations by way of substitution. And just remember that a system of equation is just a fancy way of saying two or more equations. Just remember that each equation represents a line, and your goal is to find where the lines intersect. That intersection point is called a solution, and you will give it as an ordered pair. However, when you do substitution, you can't use graphing. So what does substitution really mean? Well, it's just a fancy word for replace or switch with. Dealing with substitution, you're going to replace or switch the y value or the x value. If you're lucky, they're going to give you what y equals or what x equals. If they do, you're ahead of the game. If they don't, you're going to have to start moving terms to the other side so you get y or x by itself. So let's look at a problem where we know what y equals. We know that y equals negative x plus 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to substitute it right into the y by getting rid of the y, making it parentheses, and then substituting the negative x plus 3 right into it. Let's just move the problem to the side so we have more room to work with it. So the first thing we're going to do to solve this equation for the x value is distributive property. So I'll take negative 6 and multiply it times negative x, and that's going to give me a positive 6x. And then I'll do negative 6 times 3, and that's a negative 18. And I'll bring down everything else. Now, I notice that I have like terms on the same side of the equation sign. So I'm going to combine those. So that's 4x plus 6x. That's going to be 10x. And I'll bring down everything else. Every time I do a step, I want to bring down everything else. So now I'm stuck with solving for the x value in a two-step equation. And the first thing we're going to do is addition and subtraction. So I have a negative 18. So I want to add 18, not just on one side, but on both sides. So it gets rid of the 18s, and I'm stuck with 20 plus 18. That's going to be 30. I'm going to bring down my 10x, and the last step is division by 10 on both sides, and I'm left with x equals 3. So on the top, I'm going to write the x value of 3 to remind me I'm halfway there, because remember our solution is going to be a coordinate. We have the x value, now we have to get the y value. In order to do that, we're going to take the x value of 3 and plug it right into the x value in the first equation of y equals negative x plus 3. So now I know the x value is 3. I'm going to plug it right in to the problem or to the equation, and I'm left with 3 plus negative 3, and that's going to be 0. So our coordinate or our solution in this problem is going to be 3, 0. The best thing to do is to check our work by plugging in the coordinate into the other equation to make sure that it works as well. Here you can see I took the coordinate and I plugged it into the equation, and I'm left with 4 times 3, which is going to equal 12. 6 times 0 is 0, and I'm left with 12 on the other side. 12 minus 0 is 12. So we have 12 equals 12, so we know the solution works. So here are all the key steps that we just took in order to solve a system of equation by substitution. You could pause and you could read through them, but I'm sure once you do a couple of problems, the steps will just come naturally to you. If you don't have an x equals or a y equals, well, you're going to have to move the terms around so you do get a y equals or an x equals. So you just take one of the equations, we'll just take the top one, we're going to move it over here. We're going to start moving terms around. So the first thing we want to do is move this 5x to the other side. So in order to do that, I have to do the inverse operation of 5x. I do something on one side, I'm going to do it to the other. I'm left with negative 5y equals a negative 10, and minus 5x are unlike terms, so I can't even combine them, so I'm just going to write them next to each other. The last thing you want to do is get the y by itself. In order to do that, you're going to have to divide negative 5. If you do something on one side, you're going to have to do it to the entire other side. So each term is going to be divided by negative 5. So you're left with y equals x plus 2. Now you know what y equals, and we could now substitute the expression x plus 2 right into the other equation. So we're going to take x plus 2 and put it right into the other equation where we drew out our parentheses, and we'll just substitute the x plus 2 inside it. Now we're ready to do distributive property and solve for x. Draw the arrows. I'm left with 2x plus 4. I bring down everything else that I didn't touch, and now I notice I'm stuck with like terms on the same side of the equal sign, so I would want to combine them to make 5x, and after I do one step, I bring everything down, and now I'm left with 5x plus 4 equals 14. I want to get rid of the addition first, so it's going to be minus 4 on both sides. Do something on one side, I'm going to do it to the other. Got to remember that. 14 minus 4 is 10. I'm left with 5x equals 10, and my last step is to divide 5 on each side of the equation, and I'm going to be left with x equals 2. Now we know the x value, and now we have to plug it right into the x of either equation to figure out what is the y value. So I take the value of x and I plug it right into the problem, and I have 3 times 2, and that's going to be 6 plus 2y equals 14. This should look easy to compute because you've done solving equations a million times. So I'm going to start with addition and subtraction. I'm going to minus 6 on both sides. And I'm left with 2y equals 8. Then divide the 2 on both sides. I'm left with y equals 4. So we have our solution, and that is going to be 2, 4. And of course, I want to check to make sure it's correct. So now it's time for you to try a problem. So pause the video here until you have your answer, and when you do, unpause the video and reveal to see the correct solution and make sure you got it right. Now try problem number 2, where you're not given the x or y value, and you have to move terms around in order to do that. So pause the video here, try the problem, and then when you finish, unpause it and reveal the answer. So hopefully you got both questions right. If you did, throw yourself a dance party, and remember, the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. This has been a Struggling Student Productions. If you liked the video, please press like below and subscribe to our YouTube channel.